Really tasty. We would all like some quick and simple ways to improve our health, but we're inundated with often conflicting advice. So, if you were going to try just one thing to improve your mental and physical well-being, what should it be? Perhaps the martial art of Tai Chi to improve your immune system. Maybe a few nuts to slow aging. Or how about cleaning your teeth to give your brain a boost? I'm Dr. Michael Mosley, and this is Just One Thing, where each episode will explore one thing you can start doing today to improve your health or life in ways you might not expect. 10 years ago, I discovered to my shock that I had type 2 diabetes, but I managed to get my blood sugars under control by losing 9 kilos. Since then, I have improved my diet, cutting out junk food and doing a lot more cooking from scratch. But like most people, I still get these occasional mad, crazy cravings for sugary food. One way to try and satisfy your sugar cravings is to eat more fruit. I'm in my kitchen now, and here's the fruit bowl, and in here I've got some lovely pears. Nice green colour, and I think, smelling good. Really tasty. There's a nice sort of hint of sweetness as well. I can begin to feel some of those sugary cravings passing away. Now, I've heard claims that fruit contains sugar and so is no better for you than biscuits or cake. But although fruit does contain sugar, it is bound up with fibre, and that makes a big difference to how quickly the sugar is absorbed and processed. And as we'll see, eating more fibre may even reduce sugary cravings. The other thing that is important to point out is that fruit, particularly the skin, also contains lots of vitamins and flavonols, which help feed the good bacteria in your gut. So, swapping out your free sugars for some fruit, like this pear here, comes with a long list of health benefits. As well as improving your microbiome, it may also boost your memory. But will it really satisfy those sugary cravings? Let's see if this is just one thing. Bianca from South East London is ready to try. Hi there.
Hello.
I have a horribly sweet tooth. What about you?
Yes, me too. Every day I really like milkshakes made with lots of ice cream and cream and chocolate.
Right, okay. And do you have a healthy breakfast or do you pile on the sugar?
I will have porridge, but then I will have like 3 or 4 spoonfuls of sugar in that. Generally like white sugar as well. It's a quick buzz, and then if you eat multiple times throughout the day, you're just on a high until it's time to go to sleep. So I would love to be able to change my energy levels.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to replace sugar with fruit, because what I need you to do is boost your fibre, and it also means at the same time you're going to be eating less sugar. And I'm afraid fruit juices are out as well.
Okay, that's not too bad. The issue that I'm going to have is fizzy drink.
How about fizzy water but without sugar in?
Okay, perfect. I'll definitely try.
I've asked Bianca to swap out sugar for a week and eat more fruit instead. That's because of new research showing that eating more fibre can actually reduce our sugar cravings. We'll talk more about that with an expert later. According to the NHS, adults should eat no more than 30 grams of free sugars a day. That doesn't include fruit, but it does include any sugar that's added to your food, as well as fruit juices, honey and syrups. Unfortunately, on average, we eat twice those recommended levels. Perhaps you think you're fine. Well, you'd be surprised how quickly it adds up. A glass of apple juice or a shop-bought smoothie can contain nearly 30 grams of free sugars, your full day's allowance. Pasta sauce can have as much as 7 grams per portion. And cutting back on free sugars can really be worth it, not only for your teeth and waistline, but in so many other ways. For example, we know that cutting down on free sugars could lift your mood. A 2015 study involving nearly 70,000 women found the lower the levels of added sugars in their diet, the lower their chances of depression. Interestingly, in this same study, women with a high intake of naturally occurring sugars, such as those found in fruit, also had a lower risk of depression, which suggests that a simple swap can deliver a double whammy when it comes to boosting mood. And eating less free sugar could also boost your memory. An Australian study of 4,000 people found those who drank less than one sugary drink per day had a bigger total brain volume and scored higher on memory tests compared to those who consumed more. Not only that, cutting down on sugar, especially sugary drinks, could help you live longer. A huge study looked into the long-term effects of sugary drinks by following nearly 120,000 health professionals in the US for over 30 years. They found that the fewer sugary beverages people consumed, the less likely they were to die prematurely, from all causes. As anyone who has a sweet tooth knows only too well, the real challenge when you try to stop eating sugary junk food is that you'll sometimes get these cravings for something sweet that are hard, if not impossible, to resist. That's why, instead of asking her to simply cut back, I've asked Bianca to try a sweet-tasting substitute by choosing fruit instead. So, how is she getting on?
So this is the second full day on the challenge. It's one of those days that you just want to stay in bed. I would normally be stuffing my face with sweet treats just to give me that mood boost, but I've just been snacking on fruit all throughout the day. But I cannot lie, it did not fulfill my need for the sweet treats. But normally by lunchtime I would be almost falling asleep at my desk and I feel good. It's definitely making a difference in terms of my energy.
It sounds like Bianca is sticking with the challenge but struggling with cravings, which can be tough. However, help may be at hand in the form of Dr. Evelyn Medawar from the Max Planck Institute in Germany, who's been looking at how swapping out sugar can change our gut microbiome and our brains. Hello there, Dr. Medawar.
Hello, Michael.
Now, this is a subject which is very close to my heart because I have a very sweet tooth and I have struggled with sugar cravings for many years. What does having a lot of added sugar do to your body and your general health?
Eating a lot of added sugar comes with a lot of implications for the body. So firstly, if we eat a lot of added sugar at one time point, this comes with a spike in glucose. And this leads to a spike in insulin. And over time, these spikes in insulin can lead to insulin resistance, which changes how our body can react to food intake. And this could also lead to fat deposition in the long run. So having a composite meal of sugar and fiber leads to longer digestion time. The whole metabolic response to food intake is slowed down and more regulated.
Okay, what's it doing to your gut microbiome?
If we only have a lot of added sugar but not a lot of fiber in our diets, this can lead to having certain bacteria strains which are maybe not so beneficial for our gut microbiota. If we consume one apple with the skin and the fruit flesh, we get all the benefits feeding our gut microbiome because all the fiber is in there.
Have there been any studies looking at the impact of sugar on the microbiome and indeed on cravings?
There is one very active lab doing animal research on exactly that. And there they could actually see that by testing sugary diets in mice, they found that there was a precise and distinct pathway from the gut acting upon neurons in the brain of those mice and creating a specific preference for sugar.
Really quite spooky, isn't it? The idea that these absolutely tiny microbes down there in your gut might be influencing the food choices we make.
Yes, definitely. It's quite spooky, but then I think it's also very exciting because we can also, by our dietary choices, influence them quite a lot.
You are suggesting that when you eat sugar, particularly sugar without fibre attached, that give you cravings to go and consume more of this stuff. Is there any evidence that you can change the balance of microbes in your gut so the cravings reduce? And if so, how do you go about that?
Okay, yeah, that's a very hot topic, of course, at the moment. So our group did quite an extensive randomized control trial on precisely that. So we invited overweight adults to our institute and put them on a dietary intervention. Participants either got 30 grams of inulin, which is a prebiotic fiber compound, or same caloric amount of a placebo component. And we followed up from baseline to 2 weeks, and we measured their food cravings. Also, we took brain activity measures along with it to really see whether on the reward network of the brain we can see changes that are connected to the gut microbiome. And we were very excited to see that already after those 2 weeks of time, we could not only see on the behavioral level, but also on those brain activity levels that the food cravings were reduced.
Now, that is very encouraging because most people can manage 2 weeks. What would be your top advice for someone who is trying to reduce their sugar cravings?
Yes, I think I would advise, firstly, reducing items that are high in sugar. The second advice would be to replace things with healthier snack options. So, for example, replacing whatever sweet that you might take with a whole fruit option, something that is high in fiber.
That's fascinating. This is the first evidence that eating more fibre can reduce sugar cravings objectively in the brain. Now, let's check in with Bianca one final time and find out if she's been able to swap out that sugar and crush those cravings.
So the challenge is officially over, and I must say it has been life-changing. I no longer have the strong cravings for sugar as I did before, like after meals and things. And I've seen an improvement in my skin texture, which for me is absolutely amazing. I think for the first 2 days I slightly struggled, but after like day 4 was pretty much in a routine. I have even tried sugar-free cake recipes, which honestly taste just as good. So it's definitely something I want to keep up permanently.
I am really pleased to hear that Bianca has stuck with her sugar cutting challenge. It really is a tough one. It's so easy to cave in, especially if you're a bit stressed or had a bad night's sleep. Because I know that cravings can strike at any time, long ago I cleared the fridge and all the cupboards of sugary treats. Though that doesn't stop me sometimes searching the drawers for chocolate that I think my wife may have hidden somewhere. Not surprisingly, I haven't found anything, but I have found some of these beautiful bright orange tangerines, and I'm just going to peel that and eat it instead. Sugar hit. So when you have those sugary cravings, why not try snacking on fruit? Maybe go for an apple with skin and all. For more on how fruit benefits the gut, check out our An Apple a Day episode available on BBC Sounds. So swap out sugar for something else, like fruit, and your mood, memory and microbiome could benefit. You might even live longer. So that's it. It's just one thing you can incorporate into your daily routine, which really could benefit your body and life. If you want to hear more of the series, why not subscribe on BBC Sounds? On the next episode of Just One Thing, reach out to others. How socialising can keep your brain younger, lower your stress levels, and help fight off infections.